WSB is a design and consulting firm. We partner with clients to create what's next in infrastructure. Thank you to everyone who helps us build for tomorrow, today.
From the League of Minnesota Cities, this is The City Speak. I'm your host, Luke Fisher. I'm joined this week by Lisa Iverson. She's serving her third term as the mayor of Wyoming. Before serving as mayor, she served as a council member for 2 years. Lisa's also got a big leadership role in the state. She's the vice chair for the Minnesota Mayors Association. She's been the past president of the Wyoming Area Business Association, where she's still an active member. And she works as a hospice care consultant in her day job. Lisa's a busy person, and I'm grateful that she made some time to be with us.
Thank you.
So, Lisa, I'm curious, what drew you to the public sector leadership roles that you've had?
Back in my days before hospice care consultant, other things that I've done, I was president of the Wyoming Area Business Association.
Yeah.
Just kind of saw some changes that I think our businesses needed. And of course, anybody who gets into politics think they can do it bigger and better. And so I jumped in and first run was elected to council for 4 years. And during the middle of that, ran for mayor and have been mayor since.
What's been the biggest surprise for you so far as an elected official? What's the biggest difference between that and serving your business community?
There is a huge difference. I'm just always amazed at you're constantly on as an elected official, if that makes sense. You're always being watched by what you say and what you do and who you talk to. And it's not just serving businesses anymore. It's actually serving 8,000 people plus the 200 businesses that are in Wyoming.
I'm curious, as a leader, has there been a time when you've maybe made a mistake or done something that you wish in hindsight you would have approached a little bit differently?
I'm going to have to say I have a little giggle on that because, there's probably been several times that I could say that happened, but I'm going to say probably the biggest thing I had to apologize that really changed how I lead the city was when I was on council. Unfortunately, I didn't know better. We had a policy from the chief hoppy, and that would be every year or so we would buy new police cars, but they would be at 100,000 miles, and then we'd sell them and rotate those cars. Well, me being usually just a citizen thinking, hey, my car can get 200,000 and 300,000 miles. Why can't a police car get that, right? So I will tell you, I voted no for 2 years on that. And because I didn't know any better, right? So I kind of had this aha moment and said, well, maybe I should ride with a police officer just to kind of get a better understanding of what happens when you're in a police car, right? So I will tell you, when you're in a squad car and you're at a stop and you have to go 90 miles an hour in less than 5 seconds, and you see how hard that car is ran, and you just see that it's on all the time. The car's always running. So it really just opened my eyes as to, wow, I was wrong during this time. And I had to have that conversation when I became mayor. And I apologized to Chief Hoppy for being kind of such a pain and realized my mistake. And now I use that example for everything else that I do in my leadership and how I make decisions.
So let's go back to the chief for just a second. How did he take the apology? Was he a willing recipient, or was it a "I told you so, Mayor"?
Well, thank goodness for Chief Hoppy. If anybody knows him well on Twitter, he's got quite a good sense of humor. So he did. He took it really well. And I would say through all of that, when people like you, they kind of pick on you a lot. And so that's what Chief Hoppy does. And so it was a really good turn in our relationship. Because I'm sure he probably thought, here's this councilwoman just saying no all the time. What does she know? And then to be able to see the error of my ways, I think he appreciated that. And I was able to go and explain it to our residents as well, right? Because otherwise I was out there saying, we don't need to replace our cop cars every year. That's just silly. And so you learn the value that words matter as well as what you're saying out in that community. And I had to tell some residents I was wrong. So very humble.
Wow. I've got to imagine becoming the new mayor. You've got big shoes. You've got the gavel when you go into a meeting, sort of setting a different tone with an apology or with a my bad to start your term, probably reset things with staff a little bit along the way.
Yeah, it really did. I was, again, one of those people that would come to the meetings before I was elected, and I would be, oh, you can't do this and you can't do that. Because as a resident, I don't think you truly understand what our staff goes through and what our employees go through, right? So it was a reset, and I couldn't do my job now without our core office staff, without our fire department, without our public safety. And I've done a lot of things that are outside my comfort zone to actually show them how much I appreciate what they do. And when I make a decision, I've stepped into their shoes to really kind of know this is the right decision or the wrong decisions, and making sure that I'm saying in the public what really matters and how it really works, how government really works.
My assumption is along the way you've really probably been reassured in your position or what you were thinking, but there have probably been other places where you've maybe changed your perspective a little bit. I'm curious, when it comes to working with the public, then how does that go? Because is it hey, I went and checked it out myself, and it really is this way, or it really is that hard, or has the public come to expect that you're out and you're getting some experience with people?
That's a really great question. As you become mayor, you're really seen as that leader. When we're trying to get things done within the city, and we need the residents to really kind of buy into it. Those words are super important on how they come across, right? So before I'd be like, we don't need new cop cars, we can get all this mileage, to now where we need city facilities and we need 4 new buildings at $18.5 million. Wow. I'm not going to a resident saying, it's $18.5 million for buildings, right? Because what are you going to say? You're going to say, heck no. Right. But if I explain to residents what it is, it's 4 buildings. And it's because our fire trucks no longer fit. And it's because it tends to take on a different direction, right? Where people are starting to understand. And so the words I choose are very important to make sure that people understand how it's better for the city or for the resident.
So, Mayor Lisa, I'm curious, resiliency right now is something that we're talking a lot about, and sometimes it's a buzzword. But I'm curious, what keeps you going? You've got a lot of energy. You've got a lot on your plate. Your city is moving quickly. What keeps you going? What keeps you motivated?
And this sounds pretty canned, but it's true for people who know me. I want to make sure the world is a better place when I leave. And being in hospice for my day job, life is short, right? Life is short. And whatever I can do, I have 3 more years in my term that I can help and influence the most amount of people. And whether that's in my city capacity, whether it's in the Minnesota Mayors Association and working with 854 mayors with, stuff that's going on at the state, right? Legislatively. Or it can even be with the county. So it's just kind of looking at the betterment of Minnesota as a whole. All it takes is one person who says thank you. It might be once in every 5 months or something. That's what drives me, is knowing that when I'm gone, that Veterans Memorial that I've worked at the 10 years on is going to be the first thing you look at when you come in our city, right? And hopefully my great grandkids are going to know that their great grandma had something to do with that and it made Wyoming better. And that's all I've ever wanted, is to make the city of Wyoming and the residents love their city that much more like I do.
Well, Mayor Lisa, thank you so much for sharing some time with us today, but thank you more importantly for your service to the city of Wyoming and to the Mayors Association and to other leaders across the state. Your contributions certainly are noticed and they're important, and you've had a big impact already.
Thank you so much.
All right, listeners, I hope you enjoyed our conversation with Lisa Iverson, the mayor of Wyoming today. Reflecting on our conversation, there are a couple of things that I would take away. The first is that there's a certain vulnerability necessary to apologize. Maybe you didn't have the right perspective on something, but doing it can really help bring people along and invite people in and maybe even want to follow you. One of the other things I'm taking away from our conversation with Mayor Lisa is that words are important and how you act matters. The staff and the public are all queuing on you when you have a city leadership role, and it's important to take that into perspective with everything you do. That's it for our show. Thanks to our guest, Lisa Iverson, and to all of you out there listening and doing the hard and rewarding work that cities do. You can find us in all of the places where podcasts are found, and you can rate and review us there too. We'd love to hear from you, so please send us your comments and suggestions to podcast@lmc.org. Thanks so much for tuning in, and be well.